few quick house rules, which is I will request each one of you, if you are comfortably placed, you can join us on the video. So we'll get to know you a little better. And as far as the structure of this session goes, for those who have already joined us earlier at IPN sessions, after mostly at the end of the year, we plan to do a session wherein we take a roundup of how the year went by. And that is what we call the year that was, where we invite a few guests of ours, which we believe will be best suited to take up or share their observations, because they are very hands-on, and they are, more importantly, they are very, very entrenched in their works of school education in our country. And this year we've chosen 4 such guests. We were supposed to start this yesterday, with one of our guests, Dr. 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Acharya. However, Dr. 𝐓𝐡𝐞 ma'am wasn't really well. So we are on to our second session, which is today's session was, as per our plan, officially planned for this particular day. But session with Sudha ji will be now doing on the 29th of this month. But let's get into today's session, because we have a very distinguished guest. And in fact, I will give a little context and a little backstory as well, which is that I met Sachin ji in the year 2025, while we both stay in NCR, as in he has an own institution here, very, very distinguished one. I stay here as an outsider in this region. But it so happened that we never met before, and I and Sachin ji were part of a common dialogue in Noida, and there I got to know really him. And instantly, not only that my meeting with him was my introduction to their institution. In fact, my introduction happened a little earlier, because we had hosted our quiz program in their institution. They were our host for a quiz program which we annually do. So I had the background, and when I say I had a very sort of a close look at his institution, the way it has been, I would say, delivering the kind of work they are delivering in their respective region. And I was absolutely very, very pleasantly surprised with the kind of practices they were, considering, I mean, the moment you call Ghaziabad, there is a certain image in your mind which starts to crop up, right? And I'm culprit of that I was judging the book by the looks of it or by the name of it. But when we experienced the institution, it was phenomenal, as I said. And I'm not saying this just because Sachin ji is here. I've said this time and again wherever I had the opportunity, that I really found the Gurukul school to be one of the fantastic institutions in our country. And then we had the chance of meeting in this particular discussion, which happened in Noida. And that's where our introductions happened. And I thought that, considering the kind of work Gurukul, the school, in fact, let me be right, the way they pronounce themselves or the way they read out their names is Gurukul, the school, is a fantastic institution. And I thought he'd be the best person to come and share with us that what all as per him happened in this past 1 year, which has impacted school education in our country. Number one, that's my fundamental idea of doing this program. And there will be certain dimensions which maybe my questions do not reflect, but I will pick it up from responses of Sachin ji. But before we go there, I will really start with his introduction, a formal introduction, in fact, which I will read out to all of you so that all of us get to know him better. And then when we are going to the last half of this discussion, which will be a Q&A, wherein we will open up the house for your questions, as in whatever questions you have for Mr. Sachin, he'll be more than happy to answer them, I believe. So, right, that's the format we'll follow, because initially the first half of this discussion for almost 20 to 25 minutes will be about my questions to Sachin ji and general observation. And then we will devote a substantive time of good 20 to 25 minutes on the Q&A part. And we will keep a proper check on the time. We'll aim to really finish this by 6:30, so that I know all of us have really some of the other engagements, which I'm sure we will catch up after this. And I welcome each one of you who are joining us from various parts of the country, I believe, and some leaders are joining us. Sapna ji is joining us from Dubai. So welcome to this discussion. I hope this adds a meaningful value add to each one of you who is joining us. And we would love to hear your perspective once we get into that particular section, right? So welcome once again. And I now quickly start with the introduction, and then we will start the dialogue. So just for the benefit of all of you, we have Mr. Sachin Vats, who's the founder director of Gurukul, the school, which is in Ghaziabad, India. And Mr. Vats is a gold medalist in chemical engineering and master's in human resources and education management, with a strong belief that children are uniquely blessed and education must be channelized to bring out the best of their ingenuity. Under his leadership, Gurukul has evolved from a small offshoot of primary school with 20 students to a leading national brand brimming with over 3,000 students in 2 established branches, bedecked with humbling acknowledgements from education fraternity. He has been a speaker and panelist in many international and national conferences. He is also the president of District Kurush Association and senior vice president of District Hockey Association. He has been awarded with most emerging leader in education award by Asia One magazine and PwC, education stalwarts by Education Today, Preserving Indian Tradition Award by Mind Mingle. He is a major donor to the Rotary Foundation. He has served Rotary International as District Interact Chair for 5 years and is currently serving as District Rotary Act Chair and District Director meets. Mr. Vats continuously strives for excellence in education while nurturing a continued reverence for the legacy of core values of respect, honesty, fairness, compassion, and responsibility. That's a very formal introduction purely because Mr. Vats is with us for the first time, and I thought we should give, otherwise we usually do not get into those elaborate introductions. But having said this, I believe this serves well for everybody to know him better. And he's very active on LinkedIn. All of you can join or follow him on his work on LinkedIn as well. Sachinji, good evening. And once again, welcome to this discussion. I will we make this a very free-flowing in terms of our sort of deliberation so that everyone finds it at home, if I may say. So I would really begin with this very initial question which comes to my mind as to you as a leader. You are a very active leader, which I've seen. You're obviously not one who is working from the distance. You're an active leader. So if I have to just ask you, when we say the year gone by, which is the year behind us, more or less now 5 to 6 days from here on, what have been your observations about this year as in a school leader, with the perspective of school leader, basically? Yeah.
Thank you, Gobaji, and a very warm good evening to one and all present here. And thank you for that introduction. And I'm humbled, and I can see a lot of educators, few names. Although the cameras are off, but I can probably connect with them because I have met them in a couple of forums in the past. I would be trying my bit to probably give my perspective and point of view. And yes, as a founder now 24 years, I have learned from people like you at many forums and interactions, and happy to share whatever I know. Coming to your question, Gaurav, I feel that the year 2025 has actually been a very, very significant year when it comes to Indian education system. And uh, primarily because, after NEP 2020, we see now the cog and the wheel and things started moving. And I can very well see the landscape is undergoing a profound uh, cultural and psychological transformation. And why do I say that? Because, if I talk about my area of operation, and you said Ghaziabad, so I'll add one adjective before this, Gazab Ghaziabad, because that's how it is. Completely in Delhi NCR, we are one of the fastest growing city, and in all aspects. And I think the city is transforming a lot, and this mindset and image is going to transform very, very soon. And so here in our area of operation, I see the medico engineering or failure mindset getting transformed into fluid multidisciplinary identity. And and there are a couple of things to substantiate it. For example, now we have just completed our annual admission process, and we have complete with our admissions. And I see parents don't ask questions now of IIT, JEE, or Medico, or something like uh, mm, marks and grades. They talk about holistic. So if I say 100 parents, so out of 100, more than 90% now they say we are looking for an overall development of for our child. That's something which is organically coming from the parent community. We see that because now there is a societal validation for something called a portfolio student. That means somebody who has more than some skill beyond education, beyond marks. So my child should be good in debate. He should participate in co-curricular activities. He should be good in sports, and I want him to be happy. So now these kind of vocabulary when parents start using. So as an educator, as a school, we feel great. That means we are aligned. We are aligned. Also, I also see that the obsession with English language, although it is there, but people have started giving an understanding that because day before yesterday I was in Times Now event, and there Sanjay Kumar, the Secretary of Education, he mentioned that why do we teach English as a medium of instruction? Let us treat it as a subject. And I'm a strong believer, and I speak my case and couple of people like me who has cleared civil services and are at the helm of affairs today, that I take English as a subject, but cognitive abilities are most strongly addressed in the mother tongue, and also when there's multilingualism. So this is something which I see a shift now in the mindset of the parent community. The third thing which I also see in the progressive schools, all the best schools now, they are now giving liberty to the teachers to shift from a lecture mode to project-based learning. So this is called pedagogical engineering they are doing. So they're very constructively understanding that information is now a commodity. There's no child probably who's going to a progressive school who doesn't use AI, who doesn't use ChatGPT, who doesn't use AI, but they know that if the processes and systems are in place in the organization, they would ask teachers to facilitate the execution of this thing collaboratively. And also, one more observation of mine is that this AAPAR ID, which is a beautiful initiative by government in 2025. This is solving a big problems of schools where, because in Delhi NCR, dummy school is a big challenge. Dummy admissions is a big challenge. So I see this APAR ID, which is giving a lot of empowerment to parents and students to, something like having the credits included, also opting for those online certifications. Somebody can do a Microsoft course, somebody can do something which is his interest. And whenever I speak to children, I always say, create your digital portfolio. And this is again in sync with what government facilitated. And I feel this as a very, very strong development. And I see it taking us to a very progressive approach.
I think you've given us few points to elaborate on, and I think it was only fair that NEP will come to our discussion basically because it is so much of today's school education is around NEP, and it's completing, in fact, completed the half a decade already, right? So I think, which is again a sort of a mini milestone. And you've given me some pointers with respect to how I would say both the government and the private institutions are trying to work on it. But I'll be a little antithesis of this because I'll tell you why. Purely because philosophically, every school was or the private unaided schools in India were even doing what you are technically saying NEP is doing right now, even before 2020 when the NEP came in, right? At least that's what my larger understanding is when I traveled across the country, and our aim was to really take this dipstick for that matter. And I'm saying this with a lot of responsibility that in fact, government has to take a leaf out of what private institutions have done in order to bring it to their own institutions for that matter, which are today talking about FLN, right? And the kind of UDICE reports which we are coming to us is that we are actually working at a very basic level right now, wherein we are only covering few markers, which are very hygiene markers, what I call them, right? Which is penetration of internet, penetration of desktop, example. All these are right now. Even ACER report, which came in, right? A student can read at the second standard or a third standard the text of the second classes example. Our audience, because I believe I'm voicing for, and I always say this is that the fabric of Indian schooling system is actually being held by the private institutions of our country. They have really taken care of it. Now, from a progressive school point of view, because you are a one who is really leading this pack, if I may say, in the region, and NEP aside, because as I said, you were doing what all, if you felt as a leader, were actually those moving shifts or moving pieces in the year 2025, which felt they will be a long-term impact. Like example, we'll come to AI, because AI will definitely have a lot of impact in our classroom. It's already happening it. But apart from that, at a very functional level, have you seen some movements which you feel were not happening earlier are now moving in that right direction? Example, because of, even for that matter, NEP coming into picture. Any those specific markers which you feel schools were reluctant earlier, were not pushing the envelope enough, if I may say, but now they have to do it because suddenly there is a AI, there's a digital transformation happening, there's an NEP, there was so there were a lot happened in the past 5 years, if I may say, right? So maybe we can expand our understanding. Maybe we can go beyond 1 year also. We can take a horizon of this past 5 year also. And I'm sure you have alluded to the point when you said the mindset has changed. There's a certain amount of movement happening. उस पे थोड़ा elaborate करिए. I believe everyone will love to hear that from you. Yes.
Well, see, every school leader, when they sit for planning for the whole year, no school leader wants that the school shouldn't do good. They want
Correct.
we must be able to achieve our learning outcomes, the pedagogy, the trainings, and all those things should be in place, and my children should be able to achieve what we have planned for them, and it should be a happy school. But the challenges that come to them is from the assessments perspective. When they know that no, we have say 365 days, but the IDs are less than 120 sometimes. And why I'm saying so? Because especially in Delhi NCR, you have pollution holidays now. You have
Correct.
holidays. You have all unplanned circulars that come from the government to us. So I have to be ready for all kind of exigencies.
Correct.
So when these kind of situations come, for me, I have to have a little thinking out of the box. How do I ensure that with all these limitations, still I should be able to do best for my school?
Correct.
Now, when this determination and thing is there, any progressive school would probably first start with bringing all the folks together and have a common shared vision that this is the limitation, but we have to stay close and focus to what we want to achieve. And all these assessments and everything which was a limitation, I think the one of the most progressive thing that has happened is the new NCERT books that has been introduced now.
Okay.
Earlier, if I was following a private publisher, why? Because I found that NCERT is a book which is very difficult to decode. It is written for the whole country. When I implement that book, sometimes people follow it verbatim, but we forget those blue boxes and the gray boxes and the red boxes, which are activities. But now it takes a lot of, I would say, wisdom to decode them.
Mhm.
So we forget NEP, forget everything. Those are brilliant resources with us. But how
Okay.
do I use that resource in the context so that eventually I may make my school a very, I would say, result driven institution in terms of
Mhm.
my student getting skilled and their competency reaching to a particular level.
Mhm.
How would it happen? If I have a resource and this resource is not in sync with what I want to do, I know that I might face a little resistance from the parent community. Syllabus khatam nahi hua,
Mhm.
chapters khatam nahi karaye. And
Correct.
these are the practical challenges, and the teacher, because she has missed on five instructional days. So we brought an innovation here and said that let us plan the syllabus in terms of hours rather than IDs. And we say that, so for a particular topic, if this needs 5 hours, implementation, then we
Mhm.
sure that we'll do justice to that 5 hours. And we will also, with this multidisciplinary book introduced now by CBSE, I see a lot of advantage, because earlier teacher mindset used to be that ये book, ये syllabus ऐसे खत्म करवाना है, and this is what question answers and things are done. But now when they see that the lines are blurring and things are integrated, there's overlapping of the things, and I can very well introduce a concept in this way. And this is something which is an authentic document coming from the National Council of Education Research and Training. Now my faith increases, because let's understand all kinds of schools in the country.
Correct.
Now, when I say this is authentic, I don't want to go for a private publisher. I take that as a resource, start implementing it, and I see children enjoying. So पहले आप preach करते थे कि activity based करो, but now the resource itself is giving you, even if you are short of resources for training, even if you are short of resources of those kind of master trainers or capacity building workshops in your area, if you follow it and you are able to easily decode it in your context, you will be able to achieve your outcomes in a better way. So I feel that minus these resources was also it was possible, but it needs a little expertise. But now with this availability, which is a help from our government to us, now things are easy to implement, and that is going to empower the schools and leadership, and of course the teachers too.
Okay. Okay. You mean to say that this step is having a very positive impact with respect to that even teachers may not have to really think beyond a certain thing, and they have a lot of ideas within that book sort of a thing. That's what you're saying, right? Is that what you're
Absolutely.
saying?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And is it also implying that there is, or maybe this will happen in the few years ahead, that uh, these books are right now mandatory to be from NCERT, or we have an option to have public private publisher also for that matter
Well,
in this. Hmm.
so I think it was never mandatory for schools to do that.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, for a school to be cost effective, I
Mhm.
think I would be bullish about NCRT books always, because
Okay.
frankly speaking, I have seen in my institution for a couple of years, we have been using them. But as I said, NCRT is written for all kind of schools. It is for the subject matter experts in that institution. How do you decode them? And
Hmm.
the activities suggested on in those books would make the learning experience to the next level altogether.
Okay.
And with technology now in place, you can have complete universe at your disposal to identify supplementary activities to ensure that the learning outcomes are met.
Perfect. 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 I think that that will help a lot of our educators with respect to how you are thinking, and I'm sure it is yielding good results in your institution. So that's a little validation. Again, because we are focusing on this year now, we'll bring back our discussion back to this, which is uh, if I have to ask you again a very focused question with respect to this year. As a leader of the institution, any specific decisions you took uh, during the course of this year, which you feel impacted the institution greatly, or you feel it has a large term implications in the times ahead?
Yes. Well, if you ask me about, uh, you know, every school plans for the whole session, but we sat with our team and we said, let us also create a 5-year plan. I'm sure a lot of us are doing that way.
Mm-hmm.
And in mind, say for example, 2025. So let's keep 2030 in mind. How do I see a Gurukul student in 2030? How do I
Mm-hmm.
see a school in 2030? And let us create milestones from 2030 to 29 to 28 to 27 and so on and so forth. Now I have clarity of my path. Why? Because teams should not get confused every year if something new is going to come on the platter.
Mm.
So it is, a lot of ed tech companies today approach us. A lot of new initiatives are there. And we get confused. ये छोड़ें, ये ले लें, किसको लें. And it is very difficult for school leadership to identify which is the right tool, which is the right initiative I should bring for my school. So let me tell you what we did in our school.
Mhm.
So what we did, we sat with our complete leadership team, and this includes the nomenclature which we use in our school is the headmistresses, and then we have mentors who are the coordinators slash supervisors in a couple of schools, and then we have subject matter experts. So all of us sat together, and we decided that let's have this umbrella vision for a school clear. Now, if the vision and mission is just a document that is pasted on the walls and nobody has a connection with it, then that means there are 20 different direction people are thinking. Whereas there's a very practical situation where one teacher, she was teaching in ABC school, and due to change of city or within the same city, she joins your school. Now only the board has changed, but not the philosophy. So this teacher needs to be made of your school. This teacher needs to be have a belief in your school policies. She must have a confidence in how do you execute things, because otherwise she's going to bring some other philosophy which may not align
Absolutely.
with your thought process. So first and foremost is, as a leadership, we brought everybody aligned and we invested a lot of time in making them understand what are our priorities and how do we want to execute them in the classroom. And
Right.
also, within the same city, no two schools are same, because the context is different, the culture is different. So once we were able to do this, groundwork, so I gave this word to all of us called school culture. So we invested a big time in our school culture, where the priorities of the school and everything is known to everyone. And anybody who is joining the institution new, we invested on a proper induction plan for them
Very nice.
before they are sent to the classroom. And every supervisor or the middle level manager will be lured कि कल से टीचर आए और कल से क्लास में भेज दो, because class खाली जा रही है. But friends, trust me, if 3 days we invest in making them understand the nomenclature, maybe a different vocabulary was used in ABC school and a different vocabulary is in our school. If we are able to bring them on the same page, the 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 all kind of hiccups and the challenges which comes on the first PTM, you can easily avoid them. So we were able to bring everybody and align them. And then there were 3 4 things which are very unique in our school culture. And if people can take a cue from that, I would be more than happy to share the details and later. But like we are the school, we do not have a house system in our school. We normally day schools. I attended a session couple of years ago, and I was told that this house system is primarily a concept of boarding schools, because those kind of schools had a complete belongingness, all those things. So what we did, we made every section in a school as a house, and every class teacher as a housemaster.
Okay.
So this gave lot of opportunity to the students for inclusion and fairness in terms of opportunities. So we designed intra-section competition, then inter-class competitions, and then inter within the class wing wise, level wise. So say one first level between example sixth A within the section, and then all sections of grade six, and then sixth, seventh, and eighth. And it worked very well. The parents started believing that school is giving opportunity to all the students. And students also knew that if I clear the class level, section level, then I'm going to reach the class level, and then it will be sixth, seventh, and eighth. And every student knew that if I clear this level, I'm automatically entitled to become the member of the school team. And only if you are part of the school team, you represent school outside the school ecosystem. That
Very
means
nice.
intra school and all. Now, fairness from the first day, everybody knows about it. There is no heartburns, there is no bias, and every individual has a belongingness. And when this happens, all the students of the class start feeling valued. And there's a and we connected this to something called a class ranking parameter. Now, this class ranking parameter means if you are winning the inter-class competition, you get some points. If you become part of the school team, your section gets the point. And we have mapped the scholastic and co-scholastic activities with this, which eventually led to a very healthy competition and a belongingness with the class. And every month we declare the best class or at the particular level, and then they celebrate. And this is how it is working. Because maybe the paucity of time, I may not go into the detail,
Yeah,
but if anybody is interested, I would be happy to share the details of this as well.
you gave the direction, which is more important because I think that philosophy was conveyed, and I think every school will handle it very differently. But yes, this has proved fruitful for you folks for that matter, and I believe some of the leaders may have certain ideas coming through this as well.
Mhm.
And I think you mentioned in the very beginning that digital portfolio for me is an imperative right now, and obviously every student, I'm assuming they are building it, but we take sometimes these assumptions, but these are not assumptions. Students have to invest in these digital portfolios sooner than later, I would say.
Yes.
As far as even your, I think that entire non-house culture, or I would say intra-class, then going into an inter-class format, is brilliant. Why? For me as well, because I think it is very inclusive in nature. It gives everybody that opportunity, and there is a little path. There's a path which I can follow and I can achieve there for
Yes.
that, which is very, very important because otherwise it becomes very ambiguous.
Correct.
And then it's favoritism, then who likes me more and who doesn't like me more. Fantastic. Good you pointed out that. And I'm sure because I'm seeing this from a very practitioner's perspective, ladies. I mean,
Yeah.
leaders, this is exactly what is happening at the Gurukul, the school in Ghaziabad. And therefore, I'm sure it must be a very, very practical approach to even give it a thought. Uh, I come to my next question because technically that's my second last question, and then we'll open the house for Q&A.
Mhm.
While uh, lot of positives have happened. I believe you look like a very optimistic individual as well, for that matter. But anything which challenged you this year, which you thought you could not preempt in the right fashion, it became a little difficulty for you as a
Uh,
leader.
Yeah, I think, yeah, of course, challenges are bound to be there in the system. And because we are, the area of operation is such that sometimes, uh, schools have created an image where we are seeing as capitalist. That is something, there's a mindset that the school fees, teacher fees, this, all those kind of challenges.
I know, I
You
know.
said this. Uh, One challenge which is there the fear in the teachers and the leadership in the school about the kind of action government has started taking when there is an accident in the school. This is something which I'm seeing, and teachers are becoming reluctant even to speak
Mm,
a child in the classroom now.
correct, correct,
The
correct.
Jaipur incident or the Delhi incident, all
Mm,
those things have created a fear in the mind of
fear in the mind.
principals and also in the mind of teachers that the intent is pure. I think all of us have been through that process. But media, the way it projects it, it treats as if school teachers, everybody's a criminal. So this
It
is something.
becomes scary. Yeah, it's very scary. Yeah, I
Yes.
know. I know.
So,
Right.
although as part of ARISE and as part of the some of the organizations, we are doing a lot of advocacy with the government about
Mm.
it, and
Correct.
especially in UP, Chief Minister himself has assured that
Mm.
there is no coercive action that would be taken against schools. But still, there's a mistrust that has been we could see between
Correct.
the parents and schools and the organization or the people who are responsible for is only the media.
Mm.
Otherwise, at a personal level, it doesn't happen that much because they exaggerate it and blow it out of the proportion.
True, true, true. No, no, yeah, sorry, continue, please.
Also,
Yeah.
also, one of the again, I was mentioning it earlier also. Uh, from the planning stage, we are always struggling against time. That काश थोड़ा सा और समय मिल जाए, little more time. And when some unplanned holidays and unplanned instructions and all those things come, then it sometimes become a little difficult for teachers to do justice to that thing. And third, which maybe all of us would resonate, is, please don't read me wrong, but I see a little deterioration in the value system of opportunist teachers. They they don't understand that for me as a self, when a child develops a connect in the session, and if I just because of some little money I switch both, then I lose a child because the child has developed a connect with the teacher.
With the teacher.
We lose that prodigy because of this shift in this teacher, and sometimes those human connections that are built, there is no I would say substitute for that, and all principals struggle with this because they have to justify to the parent community that why there's sudden change of teacher, but these are situations beyond our control. And if we are able to make anybody who is coming to teaching profession understand that it is a calling, which, and I don't want to sound preachy, Gaurav, but I really mean that people who are choosing this profession must understand that the equation has to be balanced. Come what may, the child should not suffer. But that doesn't happen. So I feel, काश थोड़ा सा इस पे काम हो सके कुछ
Well,
लोग.
you're a passionate individual, and you build you whatever you have built with a lot of heart. I have seen that, and which is why you are. It's more of an emotional plea, I would say, rather than anything else. And
Absolutely.
you want something for the betterment of the student, which is the main thing for that matter, which is the goal. Every good educationist should aspire to have, basically. I'm sure. Yeah, no, this not at all preachy. That's really at the heart of it. Every teacher should need to understand this, that this is a very noble profession. I know, I mean, this may sound very rhetorical and very, very oldish, but this is very important. Even we work in this profession, and when we work, we understand that every query which a student raises, he is putting a lot of thought to it, and we take a personal care that we respond to them or reply to them in whichever way we best suit for their betterment, I would say.
But what we have started doing, we now don't look for qualifications and degrees and all. We
That's good,
take
good.
teachers, if attitudinally they are right, we farm them, we nurture them, and we say, well, you are there, we will take you as a trainee, we'll enroll you for a course, you complete your qualification, but then be with us. So I think this filtering is very important, that you have a right individual in your school, because furtherance of vision is only possible through that.
No, no, no. I think you hit the nail at the right place, which is the attitude part. Absolutely. I think this is something which we want to spread as far as it can go. That there's no longer hiring people for those degrees, which are obsolete degrees, to be honest with you. They have no relevance in the current time. Hire for attitude and then nurture that person, I would say. And that person, I'm sure, um, should have that kind of empathy towards the owner who's they are hired by, for that matter. Let us see.
Correct.
So there are some great examples also, and I'm saying we should be on that positive note. That kind of culture which you have, I think, stated in all your, I would say, statements. I think that is very, very important. That when anyone who is either a principal or a director of an institution, if this kind of philosophy is percolated down through them, sooner than later this will happen as a practice. I'm assuming that, and that's the optimism I hold with this entire idea. We have time for, as I said, a couple of quick questions, which is one is that this is the elephant in the room, which is how are you seeing AI and as in a kind of impact it is happening here in your institution with respect to administratively at the teacher level or at the student level? What are your observations broadly?
I am very proud of what we're doing in our school. And trust me when I say this, it was such a difficult thing for us as well in the beginning because, you know, and for the past couple of months, I think I have attended innumerable number of webinars or seminars or sessions on AI, and everybody talks about AI. We have started using it not as a multimedia tool, but
Mhm.
solve a problem. And I would strongly recommend people that if you want to see AI, then please first be the creator rather than consumer. So AI is not Chat GPT and Gemini or
Correct.
Perplexity. So what we have done, uh, there are amazing ways in which Google AI Studio and Notebook LM can be used. You must be clear as to what problem you want to solve. I'll give you two, three small examples
Mhm.
how we are using it in our school. I wanted to give a personalized feedback to the students. So we were sitting all of us together and we were deliberating that how could we create a diagnostic sheet
Mhm.
where is it possible that a teacher, because the idea is to relieve teachers from clerical work, to relieve teachers from the redundant repetitive tasks, and can we give them an opportunity to be the students. So with this in mind, we went to the storyboard and Gaurav, trust me, non-technical teachers, none of them is a computer science teacher. None of them is a teacher who has any background in computer technology. They were able to do it. And we did not go in the detailing of how, but we gave them some kind of a problem statement, this set, and it is just using right kind of a prompt, step by step, improving, investing, and sitting and every time challenging the product that was coming, that no, still I'm not satisfied, give me something else. And then the right kind of a prompt, and eventually we were able to develop. Now, how did it work? This diagnostic sheet, it is that simple that a teacher takes assessment, gives the input to that app which has been created by the teacher of our school,
Okay.
and and when I say creation of app, anyone who is present here in 5 minutes they can create those apps. That is, it is that easy. No rocket science, no rocket science at all. And trust me, you will not be needing any third party or any vendor or any edtech person. These are all free tools, not even a single rupee of investment. When it comes to Google for education licenses and all, whatever is free you can do that. So you just feed marks in that. Bloom's taxonomy, everything is mapped in this. You have student wise data. If the student has scored 70 out of 80, where he has scored 70 is not important. Where has he lost 10 is important. And if the child is able to get that input and he understands, it comes as a feedback for the child and also for the teacher, that what is the common error all of the students have made. That means it is the problem has been with me. Let me go back and revise that concept. This is one of the things we were able to do and achieve.
Interesting.
The second thing which we did was something called uh, automation of our uh, parent PTM feedback data. Now it is a Herculean task. You have on paper and everything. So we have again these teachers had created an app from Google AI Studio and Notebook LM. These are the two tools we have used. They created this app. After the PTM, you feed this, I mean, either you create a Google form and give it to them, automatically the data is going to go to this app, and you get the result analysis, the report which will give you parameter wise, and all these parameters are customized level wise. For the foundation year, it is different. For the primary school, it is different. For the middle, it is different. And you can get an insight as to what is the mindset of the parent, how are they feeling, and all those things. Otherwise, compiling this data was a Herculean task for anyone. We automated our administrative processes. We, yeah, today only I was sitting with them, and we were talking about something which is related to the uh, something called daily task sheet. Now, for us, planners are important. They are every school has some repetitive task, and for a teacher to remember everything and not miss the deadline is a challenge. So, if you are able to have an integrated calendar of the whole school, and you are able to give the timelines, and you are able to feed it once, and then the AI helps you give prompts, or the sorry, not the prompts, the pop-ups, where say 5 days before an event is coming, or 4 days before the event is coming, or any other input depending on what you want from it. It is going to make the system so smooth. Conflicts reduces to zero. There are no heartburns, and you do not miss on the important deadlines. So these are the things which are creating a happy environment in the school. So all those problems which used to look very undoable and had human intervention, so we brought them in this format on these apps, as I mentioned, and we were able to nail it. There was a
That's
teacher.
great.
Last example I would give. They are endless, but just in the interest of
Yeah,
time.
yeah, sure, sure, sure. Please.
This teacher in grade 11th and 12th, he came to me. He's a chemistry teacher, Pankaj Singh. He's also on LinkedIn. And he said, sir, when we do a titration experiment in the chemistry lab, it's a even if it's a double period, people go set up their apparatus and all those things, and it is difficult for me to explain everything to them. Now I have created a simulation of titration experiment through Google AI Studio and Notebook LM, and I demonstrate it to the students in the classroom with the same kind of an environment, which is the lab. And once they see all that, when I take them to the lab, now it takes 15-20 minutes for them to go directly start doing and hands-on. Now it doesn't take a lot of time for me to have a differentiated kind of an approach. And this is where the magic begins.
Magic is happening. Absolutely. No, no, brilliant, brilliant. In fact, see, this is what I was even thinking before we had you, that you are a very hands-on leader yourself. You do it yourself, these things, I believe. You sit with your team and possibly give them the
Yes.
direction. Absolutely. So therefore, I think everyone who is here will walk back with these absolutely doable ideas, I would say, in their respective institution. Fabulous, fabulous, and some great ideas, I would say. And I think you've already seen the benefits of it coming to your institution, which is that there is a administrative offloading of tasks. Basically, there is greater automation which is happening at various level, I would say, and in the right way, the way technology has to be used in a class. That's what is happening, basically, right?
गौरव, एक और आइडिया देता हूँ. I
Please,
think
please.
schools can get benefit of the founders or the fellow directors here. Imagine a, an app with a teacher. Every teacher is fearful of observations. Every teacher feels that in case somebody is observing my class, it is a threatening environment. I would be judged. Imagine through Notebook LM and Google AI Studio, you are able to create an app which is giving a feedback to the teacher. How was your class? What was your strength? Where did you lack? And it is analyzing you and only giving you the feedback for self improvement, and also giving you a summary what say, and and let the app should be such that it picks up bilingual. It picks up sound from a distance of 20 meters or 10 meters or 5 meters. It can be played on a mobile phone or a laptop or an iPad or a pad tablet, which is so user friendly, and all these technology glitches are overcome. and I get a personalized feedback about the 40 minutes I had spent with my students and improves me to become a better teacher. How does it sound? This is possible.
Dream.
It is
Good,
an
good thought,
amazing,
man.
amazing thing. And trust me, you
Hmm.
can develop it in a day and you don't need any expert. Just try it out and you see the magic happening in your schools. And you can take your school to the next level altogether.
So what I'm preempting now is that you will get a lot of requests on LinkedIn, everybody wanting to visit your institution.
I,
And
I, I will be more than happy. See, India is huge, Garva. हमें चाहिए center
Absolutely.
of excellence. I don't
हाँ.
want to have this knowledge only with me.
नहीं 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 नहीं, मैं वही कह रहा हूँ. In the way I'm saying is that this is the entire idea. The moment I had gone to your institution, I had that day decided, it's like almost 3, 6, in fact, a year ago, in fact, now, huh? I had decided that the story, or I have to bring Gurukul to the IPN platform. It took me 1 year, as in,
You've been
so
kind that way. Thank you.
it will happen. It will happen. So, having said this, no, these are some great practices, and your teachers, I have met them, I have seen them in action. They are very, very, I would say, accommodative in the way they had handled us when we were there. So, there will be a lot of these, I'm sure, nearby institutions who can definitely come. We can plan that sometime, and we'll do something in that direction also.
Sure.
Running short on time. So, just final question. One is that, because that's my final question, and then we open up it for Q&A, is that while you have more or less given everything in a very sort of a open idea sharing format only, I'm not sharing that you have been preachy here at all, but still, if we have to give one suggestion or one, say, advice to offer everyone here with respect to the times ahead, which is 2026, what
Mhm.
will that be? A piece of advice from your side for everyone.
My only piece of advice is, see, when I started my school 24 years ago, I had no clue how education works. I had no understanding of education. The only one thing is passion. If you are honest to your work, it is going to give you a lot of dividend. And schools are very organic and word of mouth thing. You can't market it. You can't, if I am fake, everybody can smell in 2 minutes and let me know that whether I am speaking sense or is it a fake, very rosy and a flimsy kind of a statement made. My only suggestion would be, friends, if all of us want to make this country proud, no, we have an opportunity. We all should collaborate. We should be open to sharing. अगर मैं आपको बता भी दूंगा ना पूरा लिख के, अगर आप करना नहीं चाहोगे तो हो नहीं सकता.
कोई नहीं कर सकता, बिल्कुल सही.
So intent is most important. And we all must be open. And sometimes neighborhood schools feels कि अगर मेरी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस उसके पास चली गई तो यार वो स्कूल मुझसे अच्छा ना हो जाए. हमारे देश को जरूरत है. We need best good schools, not one, not two, so
True.
many. So let us collaborate, and forums like IPN are, I mean, this is the first one of its kind, Gaurav. Not to praise you, but let me
Yeah,
tell you, let us have forums where best practices are shared.
absolutely.
It makes the life of school leaders better, students better, because every child deserves the best. The
Best.
only thing is, the ideas don't flow seamless. There are filters available, and people are very closed. And since I also belong to the fraternity, I have no hesitation in saying principal बहुत closed होते हैं. Principals को close नहीं होना चाहिए. They should be open, share, learn, and then see the magic. And you will excel. Trust me. परफ्यूम की बोतल खुलेगी तो खुशबू तो फैलेगी.
बिल्कुल. अरे वेरी गुड. What a lovely, and no, I really like the passion with which you have built this. It is very, very refreshing, I will say this, that the kind of work you have done, and more importantly, कभी कभी 20-25 साल का जब एक्सपीरियंस आ जाता है तो आदमी अपना ये पैशन लूज कर जाता है, जो मुझे लगता है, क्योंकि वो फील करता है यार मैंने बहुत सीख लिया है, मैंने बहुत बता दिया, और आपके अंदर वो अभी भी जो एनर्जी है,
हम्म.
इन्फेक्शियस है, फैंटास्टिक. ऑब्वियसली आई एम श्योर सपना जी ऑलरेडी बोल रही हैं, सपना जी दुबई से हमारे साथ हैं भी, वो बोल रही हैं वी वुड लव टू हैव अ कोलैबोरेशन इंटरनेशनली एज वेल, व्हिच आई एम जस्ट रीलेइंग इट टू यू. बट on that note, I will really thank Sachin ji first of all. But at the more important part, I would open the house for Q&A. If you have any question for Sachin ji, please give us a virtual show of hand. We'll help you unmute and then you can ask that question. And we have exactly 8 minutes to do this, guys.
Sure.
Yeah. And more than that, I will only request is that in the context of the discussion, if you have any observation to make also or anything to share, just keep in mind that what we are discussing is this year, how it has impacted the school education, right? So we are very specifically focusing on that. Otherwise, discussion can go in any direction. I understand that. ठीक है, तो आपको जल्दी से वर्चुअल शो ऑफ हैंड बताना पड़ेगा, which is you'll have to raise your hand virtually. We'll help you unmute and then you can either make or direct your question to Sachin ji, or if you have anything to share with us, which will add to the discussion here today, we would love to hear from all of you. And if you don't have that, then I will have a question and then we will wait for your questions. So Shubham, Chinmay, any one of you, because you guys are all, in fact, Shubham is a very progressive young leader. In fact, he's a young principal doing a fabulous work. He's based in West Bengal. I've seen his work and the kind of passion he brings to his work as well. These are young sort of leaders who are taking the baton of our school education forward. Induji is here. Induji, if you have anything to share. Rayan Siddiqui, fantastic. Please go ahead, Rayan. Please also let us know where are you joining us from. Oh, lovely.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good evening, Gaurav sir. I think I've joined from my son's. I didn't want to miss your session, so without changing my name, I've joined from my son's Zoom link. Actually, if you have not forgotten, I'm from Birla Open Minds International School, IPN finalist for the life skill.
Oh yes, now the moment I saw you. Please go ahead.
It is such I feel like it is a blessed at the end of the year seeing both legends together, Gaurav sir and Sachin sir. I have been a fan of you after becoming an IPN member. I've attended the sessions and this Sachin sir, I at the end you have just enlightened. You just created that curiosity by saying that the AI will be judging your teaching. So I personally feel that I'm a very good teacher, but when someone notices me, I get cautious. So that is the lovely thing, and I hope that really that is really very helpful for the teachers as well. And thank you so much, Gaurav sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Huma ma'am, for unmuting me. It's so lovely to see you people live. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And obviously, I think the session got really richer purely because of the candidness and the openness of Sachin ji. I mean, I really enjoyed it completely. Listening, I was glued to it. I was listening it because every word is from a practitioner plus spoken from heart, which is very rare. And that's my take on the school education in India, that everybody has a lot of facade and a lot of less substance. But yes, jumlebaji bahut sari chalti hai. But that is my view. But anyway, we have to work as a nation on this. And I think the great message which Sachin ji pointed out is that whatever we do together, if it's contribute to the well-being of our nation, I would say the progress of our nation, I think that should be a driving force. That should be our goal, in fact. Fantastic. Anyone else, please? We would love to hear more from you all. Induji, go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Gaurav and Mr. Vats. I'm going a little away from academics. As you mentioned that the schools, the principals are soft target for government and everybody. We lost 7 children in one day in one of the accidents. That's why I was away from IPN.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, they would come from another city in the vehicles hired by parents, the drivers also hired by parents. The parents stood with me, right? But then like you, as you mentioned, I have a lot of love and respect for Yogi ji. I think he's doing fabulous work. Are they doing, I mean, the students, the school unions, are they moving some kind of legislature? Are they going after MLAs or politicians to get some legislative passed that instead of, principal facing the brunt, why not deputy commissioner, why not RTO? Why not those people sitting CM should be questioned? Those who issue license to young children. I mean, it was a 19-year-old guy running a tipper truck who banged into my children, and they were gone on 7th May in seconds, right? So is there some platform we're doing anything about it?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am, we are. So, I mean, there is already a legislation passed by the Honorable Chief Minister, wherein the immunity is given to the school management and the principal or school fraternity. There will never be a direct FIR now without investigation. This is already done. But we want to go one step beyond this. You know, doctors and lawyers have already done this in our country, and there is a proper law for that. But here, school, as I said, are a very closed community. They feel that somebody should solve our problem. We will not take the initiative. So there are, and fortunately, unfortunately, there are multiple forums who are doing in isolation. But there's a very credible organization called ARISE, Association for Reimagining School Education, that is doing a lot of advocacy with the government on these lines, and also in state of UP, especially since you were talking about Uttar Pradesh, and I also belong from the same state. So we are working very, very closely with them, and I'm hopeful that this is going to see the light of the day.
There's another challenge. This parent who whose child joined us in 2020, his president, Parents Union Punjab. This parent didn't pay annual charges all these years and won't pay late fees, fine, and all that. Though we give free education to our drivers' children, helpers, conductors' children, we do it with a lot of love and compassion for those children. We want them to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was some uniform defaulters. It was exam day. I took a little tough call. I'm known for discipline. So I wanted teachers to send a message to parents, deliver their house uniform, right? I could have ignored because it was half-yearly exam. If somebody conducts my exam even today, I'll be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, this parent, made full use of that opportunity and created a ruckus in the school. But I felt the commission, district child protection commission stood with me, DC stood with me, district education officer stood with me. But when it came to state child protection commission stood with child, and I wasn't aware that we can't remove a child, expel the child because of the action of parents. Though it's a very student-friendly school, it was in my 40 years career, I felt it was my failure to expel a child because of parents' behavior. But I did it. I was forced. I mean, I was compelled to take such drastic action. So I was not, these unions do something about if parents are misbehaving,
please
why
don't
should
rely
child not be expelled when they're not paid the fees for 6 years, annual charges and tuition fees also they would pay after 6 months, after many reminders. So are we doing something about it? Because the right to education says that you can't expel a child before 8th. I've never done it. I would not even like to suspend a child ever. But this person, this couple, really gave us tough time. 6 years, we were like taking it as a bitter pill. I ignored. It doesn't matter if you don't get fees from one child, one family. But because he created a ruckus, not as a vendetta, I just wanted to teach him lesson.
No,
We
I
can't
have an
use
answer to this, ma'am.
bad
But
words for my
I have a
teachers.
suggestion, sir. If you, on your group, if you can help all of us share these kind of challenges, and somebody who has any kind of an answer, that would probably help the entire community doing that. That's going to help, ma'am. But answering your question, yes, depending again on the school where you're working, you have this provision. But I would suggest that if you do not have, normally schools have PTAs. One thing that is working very well in our school is, I am talking beyond PTA. You should have a very close group of around 15-20 parents जो आपके एक इशारे पे आपकी बात को समझें और सुने एंड आपके साथ खड़े हों. This is must have for leader now. And this is not PTA. This is something which is a closed group. And they trust you blindly. And
Royalists.
if any kind of instruction to them, they do with you. Once you have those volunteers and those angel parents with you, you can solve all those problems because you are not immune to these things.
It's practical handling time. I know you have. You should have told us. I think you were.
Hard year,
were in
very hard year.
pain.
So I didn't attend any of the sessions.
Please
I
take
was
care.
so
Please.
passionate about IPN sessions.
No, please take care. And I hope everything gets resolved very, very quickly for you. That is my prayer, in fact.
It got resolved because the parents stood by me.
Oh, happy. Then we are happy about it.
Even parents
Shubham.
lost their children, they stood by me. That don't say a word to our principal. She's been mother not only to children, mother to parents. So, but then it was the government was trying to wash their hands off, passing the buck to me.
Final question, Shubham, yours, and then we will say thank you to Sachin ji. Yes. Go ahead, Shubham, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I will be sharing my detailed discussion today in my LinkedIn within 15-20 minutes. So, before that, one thing, Sachin sir, I'm following you on LinkedIn. I keep understanding how you are telling the things. I have got two answers. Like one, the coordinator came to me a day before and was like telling that some of the teachers, so newly joined teachers, are telling that there are certain things which works in that school, things are not the same here. So we need to fit into the system. So thank you for guiding me in that way that you said, like, we have to understand our system and follow our system rather than taking all the things into us. And one more thing about the Google Studio, I learned a teacher came to me that how will I be improving my communication skill and so on. So definitely we will be able to get that kind of an application from that. I'll definitely tell the teacher. The teacher asked me the question, but I was unable to answer like in which way they can. But definitely I'm confident enough to give an answer tomorrow to her, like how she can do it. But my question is a lot of teachers come into this profession and they leave in between. So what do you think? Like it's always that they think about the salary part. So what do you think that how I always tell them that the passion is something that is very important. And like when I was in grade 5, I decided that I will be a teacher and an English teacher for sure. So I decided when I was in grade 5. So this kind of passion is very important, which I don't find in the teachers. And like it's not out of passion; it's always out of not like nothing is left out. Let me choose this profession, the easier one to get and crack. So what do you think, sir, on this?
Shubham, I mentioned about two words that start with F, farming and fishing. So farming is the only way you can nurture the talent, attitudinally see them, invest your time and energy, and show them, be very transparent in dealing with them. Always walk the talk. Don't promise anything which you cannot fulfill. Tell them, depending on the fee structure of your school and your financial health, because schools are not corporates. Schools have limitations. Your area of operation, your target audience, all these things are there. But trust me, you will get good people if you will talk to them heart to heart, give them the complete, journey, the virtual tour of the journey they're going to have. And somebody who's giving their heart and soul for you, please take care of them very well. They are actually your investment. Don't ignore their contributions, and then they are going to reciprocate from and are going to give more than what you are expecting from them. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Thank you so much, sir.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you,
So, thank you, Shubham. No, I think I did mention about your work, and obviously we are all very, very inspired by the kind of work you do at the young age, which you do, more importantly. So keep up the good work. And I think on this message, which is by Sapna ji, I will quickly read that, and then we will say thank you to Sachin ji, which is I don't have a question, but gratitude to all the leaders in India. We might be based in a different country, but equity to collaboration, especially in the field of education, is beneficial to India. I was in India last week presenting a paper on an international conference, blending human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Would love to collaborate with all who believe in growth mindset. Thank you, which is to Sachin ji, you. Thank you very much. And as I said, I would words will not do a lot of justice, but thank you very much. I truly mean it when I say this, Sachin ji. It was lovely having you with us this evening, and absolute pleasure and getting to know you a little better as a leader. And I know this partnership of ours and with you at IPN will be a long-term one for us. And everyone who is joining us here this evening, happy and Merry Christmas. Enjoy with your loved ones. Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year and happy Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you, Gaurav ji. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
See you.